Welcome. This is Becoming Blue, where we learn the genius and the why behind students at Brigham Young University. My name is Robbie,
I'm Rock.
and today we have as our guest Jared Howard. Rock, you want to give a little introduction about Jared?
Sweet, yeah. So, yeah, Jared is a good friend of mine. We actually met like 2 years ago on the mission, Botswana, Namibia. Do we
Okay.
have like a sign?
Uh, Maybe. Nope, I
Okay.
don't.
Yeah, yeah. So, we met on the mission. We only briefly met. We never like really served with each
Yeah.
other, right? Yeah. But I actually served in an area where Jared had this recent convert who would teach with the missionaries like every single day.
Literally.
And
Teach without
Norman.
us too.
Yeah, true. Yeah. But yeah, his name's Norman, and Norman always talk about Elder Howard and how cool he was and how much he loved him. So I feel like I know Jared through Norman pretty much. But yeah, I'm excited to get to know your genius. I heard you were a filmmaker when I came back, and I'm like, dude, this guy I need to talk to. He sounds so sick. So yeah, that's how I know Jared. How do you know Jared, Robbie?
We have a mutual friend, good old Andrew Carl Cleverly, Carl with a K. We'll see if we need to blot that out. But Andrew's our good friend. He served his mission where I'm from, and we got to serve with one another there in Washington, where I'm from. And they worked the night shift, overnight shift
Yeah.
together
From 10 p.m. to 2 a.m.
In the Wilk.
Yeah.
Just like cleaning, right?
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
awesome. It was the best.
So like that was quite the squad. And I remember seeing Jared, and he had his I don't even know what you call that, like beanie hat, whatever thing you had, and like kind of your scruff. I'm like, alrighty, this is the guy. This guy is sick, and just super funny. He had awesome glasses, kind of similar to mine, but
Twin.
yeah, absolutely. But that's kind of what I know about Jared, and that's how we have a mutual connection. Anytime I see him, I'm like, Jared, what's up? And he's like, what's
Sick.
up? That's about it.
Sick. Well, yeah. Let's get into it. So,
Yeah.
Jared, we just want you to like go crazy and explain film to us.
Yeah.
And like why you're so passionate about it. Maybe like what led you to get to the place where you are right now. I know you're doing a lot of stuff for BYU, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, go for it, man.
Yeah. Well, first off, thank you, fellas, for having me on the show. Shout out
totally.
Norman. Shout out Andrew, the fellas. But yeah, I absolutely love film. I love movies. I have since I was a little kid. I usually always tell people that, like, when I was younger, especially, well, this happened when me and my family went for a family reunion in New Zealand because my mom's from New Zealand. My dad gave me like this little camcorder, and he said, like, go crazy, like take pictures, take videos, and all that stuff. And so I did. And we jumped off bridges. We saw a bunch of sheep. We did a bunch of things. But I filmed a lot of it, and then I put it together in like a little home video of me and my family traveling from America to New Zealand and experiencing what it was like.
And how old were you?
I was 10 or 11.
Okay.
And so I put all of it together, and then I made my entire family, my extended family, sit down and watch it for like one of the evenings we were together. And I don't know, this just feeling came over me of where I was like, yo, this is awesome. Like everyone's like locked in on what I've made, and they appreciate it. They're really happy and really excited to see everything that I had filmed. And so I think that was like the what's it called? The like moment when
Pivotal moment.
Yeah, the like Rubicon, crossing the Rubicon or whatever. Anyways, that was the moment where I fell in love with like capturing things and putting them together. And so it started then, and then growing up, or at least in middle school, I was in a gifted class, and my teacher started showing us Alfred Hitchcock movies in 6th grade. And one of the greatest filmmakers of all time, a genius. But I just fell in love with watching movies and analyzing them. And my teacher made me fall in love with that kind of stuff and learning more about movies and lighting. and why people move the way that they do in specific scenes and what exactly that means. And then in 8th grade, we watched Dead Poets Society, which is one of my favorite films of all time. Um, and so, yeah. And so from there, it kind of just went on with me watching movies and learning more about them. And then I also continued to like make my own stuff. I would bring my camera into school and I had to interview like a bunch of my classmates. And then I put it
Same
together.
camcorder?
Different. It was
Okay.
it
It's like your
wasn't that
first
much
camera?
better, but it was my first camera. It was like my family camera from I don't know, like 5 years prior. It was a terrible camera, but it allowed me to do what I wanted to do with like interviewing my friends and putting it together and then putting it up on a screen, and everyone when they saw themselves was like, "Yo, that's me!" Like, "Oh, that's so funny," and we're all laughing and we all love it, and so it just became this moment of I don't know, just community and fun and love and seeing each other and recognizing each other and being a part of like something greater. And that's what film and what I've come to love and learn is that like film is it's a very communal and a very like team sport basically.
Mm.
Like I used to always glaze and like praise directors because they're super talented and they're the ones that, you know, have the vision for the film. But the more I get involved, especially here at BYU, is not that the director does so little, but because he does a lot or she does a lot, but the director or everyone else in the film does like equal amount that the director does.
Mm.
Like setting up a light can take 30 minutes to an hour, or setting up a shot. Like even this setup, it took like, you know, 30 minutes. And like no one sees that on the camera, but everyone else experiences that and sees that who's involved with the production. And the production couldn't be what it is without all of those people. And so just like the stuff I've done, I couldn't do anything without my family. I couldn't do anything without the people who have been involved and all that stuff. And so, yeah, so it's just it brings me closer with a lot of people, and it's a very cool experience.
Feels like collective
Yeah.
almost. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, 100%.
Would you say like your nature tends to be that way? Like you like to be surrounded by people and really?
Yeah, and it's cool because, and I'm also involved in like BYUSA here, and so I do a lot of like marketing stuff, and so I like to think I have really cool ideas and really good ideas that I think a lot of people will like, or at least that I really like. But I've recognized that those ideas, when I collaborate with other people, are a lot better.
Mm.
And there's things I haven't considered when I'm just by myself that other people consider. And so we adapt and overcome, and we just evolve this recipe of whatever it might be. It might be like a poster design or a video we're going to make. And it just evolves into something better and something more inclusive. And that's what film is too. It's like, I don't know how to do everything. Other people don't know how to do everything. So we come together and make something better than any of us could have made alone.
I love that. I feel like there's so much in our world right now where it's individualism and keeping to yourself and I don't know, just scrolling, things like that, just separating yourself. But it's interesting to hear the way that film is able to bring people together for a common good, almost, right? For an opportunity to help one another. And you learn from one another too, because I know for me, like sometimes it can be hard being a perfectionist, like, oh man, I got to do things my way. Like, how do you feel like you've overcome those feelings before, or maybe an experience you've had with that?
Overcoming feelings of what? Sorry, exactly.
Just like full control. You're like, you know what? I need to let go on this. And then you realized, whoa, that was so much better than I would have expected.
That's a good question. I remember this was the summer before me and my friends started going on our missions. So this was like August 2020. Me and my friends Jacob and Brady went to Brady's family beach house with his family and all that stuff, and we really wanted to make a movie. And I was like, yeah, for sure. But I had no idea what kind of movie we wanted to make and all these things. And for me, I really like to have everything planned out and at least to the T as much as possible. But And so I had all my ideas. We were writing a script, and it was like silly and super stupid. But I had particular things that I wanted to get across or everything. But then my friend Jacob, who's just doesn't know anything about film, just thinks things are funny, and he's a super funny guy, and I love him to death. But he was just like, dude, let's just like do it. Let's just, what if we did this and this? And as I'm writing the script, he's like stressing me out because I'm like, oh, but I had all this planned and all this stuff. And he was like, nah, dude, like, let's just run it. And so I was like, okay, we'll see how it works out. But in that moment, especially, it depends on the people you're with, I think. And especially with him and Brady, we just had a really good time. Like, we didn't capture everything that I think, at least I wanted to capture. We still captured a lot that I did. But there were things that none of us planned for, things that I certainly didn't plan for. But it was a lot of collaboration between me and Jacob and Brady, and just trying to keep whatever vision or whatever thoughts that came to mind alive and visualize them and record them. And so a lot of that was like super stressful and in the moment disappointing for me because I was like, oh man, like I want to do something else, or I wish it was this way. But then when we were editing it, everything really just came together. Like all the little mistakes that we made were basically overwritten, and you can't tell within the movie. Or if you do, they're there for a reason, or it's funny. It makes it better. And so I think losing control and giving it to someone else, or at least giving it to a body of like people who collaborate, is better in the end. Unless like,
Yo, that's kind of deep.
yeah, you know,
Yeah, that's
but
super
yeah,
deep.
it just makes things better, even though you don't think so in the moment. If that
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Like sacrificing control for a greater good.
Yeah. Exactly.
Wow, that is super sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just makes the experience a lot more richer, not only for you, but for everyone else in,
Yeah,
in the
totally.
process.
Yeah. Because it's about the experience of actually creating the movie rather than like final product then, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Interesting. I guess I'll just ask this one now because it's like kind of on my chest.
Yeah.
How do you think I'm gonna say like the word that's the bane of all existence for all filmmakers, but how does AI affect the creative intellect of movies?
That's a really good question. There's a quote very recently from Guillermo del Toro, who directed like Pan's Labyrinth and Hellboy and a lot of like fantastical kind of movies. He's great. But he has this really good quote where it's like, you can't replace human passion. And that's what I think AI in general misses a lot of the time. Is like, there's a reason why someone is creating the thing that they are making. Even if it's like a funny, entertaining movie, there's moments in it where it's like real. People can relate with it. And I think AI misses out on that. But there's also a positive side in it with AI, especially with like visual effects and just creating stuff. It's so good. It makes things a lot easier and it's becoming a lot better. And those things can be good. Like, trust me, I use a lot of AI with like school assignments and stuff. But when it comes to like art and when we talk about filmmaking and art in general, AI doesn't, to me, it just can't replace human passion, human emotion, anything like that. It's good for, I use a lot of it for like generating ideas or trying to like use it as a bounce board for ideas and ways to figure things out. And it makes stuff like that easier. Like it makes the process of things easier, but it doesn't make the output of like art itself any more meaningful, if that makes sense. So it's super positive in that way. Like making, especially, I watched a video recently of like this visual effects artist saying like AI is making our jobs a lot easier because it can do a lot of technical things really quickly. So that cuts down the time of like making movies and all that stuff. But when it comes to the emotional, real part of art and filmmaking, it pales in comparison.
So like AI is what you're saying, like can't destroy the passion of a film. Like when you as a director watch a film, you can see like what the director was intending for like a movie to be and like how this represents a certain aspect of life.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. And
That's
it's
super sick.
yeah, especially when you go into it and like yeah, when you just get the movie in context of what the filmmaker is trying to say, it just puts a lot of those things. It makes a lot of sense,
Yeah.
and it puts it into context and a lot more meaningful. But AI, in a sense, can't do that, in my opinion.
Mm.
That makes sense.
At least yet.
Yeah. Have you heard of Runway Elf?
No.
You haven't?
Uh-uh.
Dude, it's crazy. It there's a YouTube video on it. They just came out with it, but I think it's an AI model where you can put like one scene of a film and it can like analyze the background of the whole film
Mm.
and like create more scenes based on like one shot.
Oh, wait. Maybe I have. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know that's
It's
what it was
super
called.
trippy, yeah.
Yeah. So stuff like that, super cool.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like creative direction and what people actually want, especially when it comes to like real human stories, that's weird to say human stories, but like real stories, uh, you can tell AI to make all that stuff and you can put that in a prompt, but it can't put that into what like what it means to humans, what it means to us. Like there's a disconnect there that it just doesn't understand.
Well, and each storyteller and like director, they each have their own like niche, right?
Yeah.
What would you say is like your niche when it comes to filmmaking?
Shoot,
That sets you apart. Sets you apart from everyone else.
I don't know. Recently, I've been doing a lot of music videos because it's just fun. And
Dude, I saw those on your Instagram page. They're so awesome, dude.
shoot, man, thanks.
Yeah.
Because to me, especially like in class, we're learning about film history and the transition from silent cinema to sound cinema. And when sound cinema came into play, like it ruined the visual art of cinema for a long time. They recovered. But silent cinema is purely visual. Like you can still have music behind it, but it's purely visual. And to me, that's what music videos are nowadays, is where it can be purely visual. And you like the music plays a big part in a music video, obviously. But a lot of artists like Tyler the Creator or Kendrick Lamar, they play a lot with the visuals and it has meaning behind it and it looks really cool. And so I love music videos. And maybe that's more of like could be my niche, who knows? But I really love films by Taika Waititi, who plays with emotion and comedy and like weaves it into one big beautiful story of like the human experience and just what it means to go through life with like happy moments and sad moments simultaneously. So yeah, stuff like that.
I love
So
that.
sick.
That's awesome.
How did I kind of want to talk about your mission.
Yeah.
Did you ever do like film stuff on your mission?
A little bit, a very, very little. I captured a lot of videos. Actually, most recently, I made a little video for my one of my authentic leadership classes, and I had to talk about connectedness and what it means to be like as humans, we're connected to everything around us, basically. And so I had to make a video of that, and I connected my experiences home with my experiences on my mission in South Africa and Botswana and Namibia, and how like young men there in South Africa were struggling with things I was struggling with back home as a young man, like talking to girls and doing all that stuff. And so I did a lot of capturing videos and memories from my mission. I didn't really put anything together because I like to think I was really focused on the work. But I did make like some videos of what the mission office looked like and a bunch of I was in charge of some social media stuff while I was down there. So it was a lot of like ads for the Book of Mormon and trying to meet with the missionaries and stuff, but not too much like making a narrative or like making a film. I wish I had, but I get to look back on all that stuff and be like, oh, this is cool and a story within itself.
It's more observational than kind of creative.
Exactly. And so now looking back on it, I hope to make like videos with all the pictures and videos I did make with it to kind of reminisce and also show how cool it was, I guess. Yeah.
That's so sick, man.
Yeah.
Love it. How do you think like your experiences on your mission, just with the Savior and with the Spirit, impacted how you are a director and filmmaker today?
That's a good question. I think I like to think taking into other people's experiences and perspectives a lot. And because it's interesting, especially nowadays, like the white heterosexual male is not like what people want to show, because we've seen that all throughout history a lot. But it's interesting watching other filmmakers like black creators or Asian creators like make films and how much how deep and meaningful all of their art is. And going to South Africa and on my mission, just seeing, you know, African people and the reality of it, whether it's people who have a lot of money or people who live in a shack and are impoverished and starving or anything like that. Like it was almost like watching a movie, like but being in the movie itself. Because we'd go into shacks all the time and teach people there, and it became very real and very meaningful and very humbling for me too. And seeing people like that, you want to do something like that, whether it's with the gospel or whether it's with money or trying to give something that can help them, which a lot of the time was the gospel. But being able to like share their stories or my experiences with them um, inspires me a lot. And one of these days I hope to like go back and like see those people again and also like record a lot of their experiences and just so more people are aware of the reality of what it's like over there. Because we have our own preconceived notions of how it is over there, but understanding the reality of it and seeing people and how happy they are and how terrible their experiences and living situations are. It's really interesting, but it's all about connecting with them and trying to help them and see the good in them and what they need and how Christ can help them too.
So sick. Yeah, I think like kind of from what you're sharing it, like filmmaking is pretty individual. Like you're pretty focused on the one. And just from what you were talking about, that seems like what you're able to figure out on the mission, huh?
Yeah.
That's super sick. I
Yeah,
love that.
definitely.
So powerful.
I love that. It's interesting to see the different ways that each of us could take our careers or the things that we're passionate about, and it oftentimes will always come back to the individual. At least we hope it does, because there's power in being able to help the one, right? And I think that definitely represents the Savior. And so it's cool to think that, no matter what you're doing, there's a way that you can minister to the one, whether it's, arts or engineering, things like that. I think that's really powerful. I guess to kind of move on, a question that comes to mind is kind of just seeing what's happening right now for you. Like what's going on in your life right now with film, and like how are you using your genius to kind of make a difference with whatever you're doing?
Oh, a difference. I was just kidding. I've been doing well, like I've mentioned, I've made a lot of music videos recently. Just like having fun with friends or doing stuff like that, which is a lot of fun. It helps give me more experience, and it helps also break my friends out of their comfort zone, which I really enjoy seeing, and hope that they enjoy the experience of it as well. But I've also been able to help a lot of film students on a lot of their film projects. There's a class at BYU where you have to make a short film every single week. And so, yeah, it's super intense and super like in depth. And so, a lot of the times they need someone to record sound and be like a boom operator or a sound mixer. And I do a lot of that because my dad's a sound engineer and all those things. So I learned a lot about sound and had a lot of experience with it. And so I'm able to help a lot of them. Like last night I was on a shoot. Last week I was on a shoot. I'm on a shoot like once or twice a week, just helping other students and my friends with their like passion projects or a lot of stuff like that, which is a lot of fun. And I'm also working on like we call them AFPs, advanced film productions, but it's basically a student film that BYU funds. And so it's called Relict. It's like a mix between like Sasquatch and Nosferatu kind of vibe. It's gonna be super cool, and it's like a horror movie. So like the sound design in it, which I'm in charge of, supervising the sound. It's gonna be really cool, really creepy, really scary, but like it's a lot of fun to make it. Um, yeah, it's just cool playing with the sound and how much sound actually registers with us, whether we notice it or not when we watch movies. Because a lot of people say if it looks bad, it's forgivable. If it sounds bad, it's not forgivable. Like I can't. It's very hard for me to watch a movie that has bad sound, or just watch anything that has bad sound. Like even
Like a podcast.
right, like if it looks bad, if all these cameras were terrible quality cameras, we would still watch it if the sound is good. But if you can barely hear us, if I'm like all the way over here and that's what it sounds like the entire time, you wouldn't want to watch it. It'd be hard to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So stuff like that. It
true.
sounds fun.
Well, that's a good description of like how you're becoming blue, right? Of BYU's motto of enter to learn and go forth to serve. You're in this learning era. How do you feel like BYU is really helping you grasp these concepts that maybe you couldn't get maybe at another university?
BYU super cool just in general. Like at least for me, and I'm sure with a lot of other majors, like a lot of professors love and care about its students and also just like the work that they put out. Like I'll talk to friends or my girlfriend at like who's at another university who seems pretty disconnected with a lot of the things their professors like produce and work on, whether it's research or whatever. Yeah, they just seem pretty disconnected. But when I talk about my experiences here, like my professor like asked for my help on one of the shoots he was doing, and another professor asked, and especially within the film program, I feel like we're all about trying to help one another grow in the experiences that we have, especially because the film industry is super hard. But I know like within other majors, like my roommate does research for one of his professors and is potentially getting published. I know a bunch of like grad students who are working on like the latest and greatest like manufacturing technology or production, whatever. But it's super cool to see BYU just with its professors and its students just come together and create stuff and give us experiences that are going to potentially or that are going to help us with our future careers. And it's just a lot of fun. And that's what I especially love about BYU is giving its students opportunities to grow and to gain experience for the future.
Yeah. That connectedness gives you confidence in the professional field of film. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. It's amazing to see and learn from like mentors and people who actually have in industry experience and can give you advice left and right. And are like, no, don't do that, do this kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like it's super
totally.
helpful.
Totally.
Yeah.
Super sick, man. Have you ever heard of Isimo?
No, what
No?
is that?
So in a lecture series that I was in, it's this guy named Jacob Huini.
Uh-huh.
Wait,
Haney.
Haney. So he actually created this business that makes films for social impact organizations, right?
Yeah, social impact, SIPSOs. Yep.
Yeah. And basically these films like represent the scale of impact that these businesses want to do. And at the end of this class, he showed us a film that was like super, super gnarly.
Yeah.
Like some really deep and crazy stuff that's going on in the world.
Yeah.
Just with poverty and hunger and
Yeah.
people dying and stuff. And it was super sad actually. How do you think that through film you can avoid like dehumanizing people so far as like social impact?
Yeah, that's a big conversation within, especially within like documentary filmmaking,
Yeah.
because the line is very blurred within like what should I record and what can't I record. Because like as humans, as people, we want to see like the nitty gritty. We want to see like stuff that I don't know, like makes us feel something or is meaningful and impactful to the people on the screen. But also as filmmakers, like there's some question of ethics and should we really be doing
Yeah.
this? So it's, I think for me, it's a lot of trying to understand the experiences of the people that you film or the people that you portray. It's like if you're going to make a documentary or film something or mention something about like people who struggle with like homelessness or something along those lines, like listen to them, tell their story. Don't tell like, I don't know, don't tell their story through your eyes or like try to mess with it in any way,
Yeah.
manipulate it into something that
It's like
you
a
think would sell.
co-collaboration. You're collaborating with them to tell their own story instead
Exactly.
of your lens.
To me, that's one of the best ways you can or avoid dehumanizing people is basically let them tell their story. And in some senses, especially within film, because you hope it reaches a big audience, but with it reaching a big audience, you have to cater to what they want to see.
For sure.
And a lot of people don't want to hear the hard stuff.
Mhm.
And so a lot of like big budget blockbuster films will try to push an envelope a little bit with like briefly mentioning that and showing how it's a problem, but then getting back to like the fun, entertaining, whatever people would like. But yeah, tell their story, co-collaborate, involve them in the process, and in my opinion, be clear with what you want from them and what you're trying to do. And if they say no, then you respect that as much as it might hurt, or as much as it might hurt your production. There's something about that is so important, especially within our generation today, in my opinion.
That's
That's so
powerful.
cool.
Yeah, that's that co-collaboration is super important, right? It brings it back to the individual again, right? So I really love that question, Rock. I feel like you're in this process of becoming blue, right? You're learning how to take what BYU is able to offer as both a a secular university, but also as a religious. Well, it's not a secular university, but joining the secular with the religious aspect, the spirituality, and things like that. And so I guess the next kind of question is like, on this path, how are you looking to go forth to serve? Like that second part of the motto of you've entered to learn, you're becoming blue, and you're going forth to serve. What does that look like for you?
Yeah, that's a really good question. At least for me, especially like BYU, as great as it is, I feel like we lack a lot of diversity. Or that's not the forefront of what we have here. And so with like films or like videos that I want to make, I want to like include the diversity that we have here at BYU. Like last year, I was a part of like an Arab dancing group, and it was really fun and really cool. And I met a lot of non-LDS students that were involved in it. And like we have a very big range of spirituality here on campus. And so I want to include a lot of that. And part of that is one, to see the diversity, but also to see the common thread that each of us have. Like we're all spiritual in some sense. We're all divine in some sense, whether you take that from a religious perspective or not. Like there's something so great about us individually, but also as a whole. And so including a lot of diversity and telling a lot of unique stories and recording them and sharing them, hoping to distribute and help people see the greatness that is within all of us, obviously. But yeah, just really being able to capture very unique experiences and giving other people opportunities to share their work in spaces that might not be so welcoming or accessible.
Or a voice, too.
Yeah.
Right? Giving them a voice.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's, the stereotypical like sales bro or Utah girl, which is great. Love it. But there's also a lot of valuable experiences that we gain from people who are not like us, like on our missions.
Absolutely.
Or within our classes or within Arab dancing groups or anything like that, especially within film. Like a lot of famous, meaningful films that were made here in the U.S. for an American population stole or like borrowed from filmmakers from Asia, from Africa, from all over the world, because we all enhance each other. We all have something that we can offer to one another, and I would like to bring a lot of those things within the community here at BYU or just Provo or just in general.
Unite.
Yeah, exactly.
So awesome. I love that. Well, Jared, we're so grateful that you could come on the podcast. And
Well,
we're
thanks
grateful
you guys. You guys are awesome. This is sick.
It's sick. Well, we're grateful you could share your passion. And the purpose of this is to share people's passions, share people's geniuses at BYU. Not their major, but what their heart is desiring in life. And for someone who is like trying to find that out, me being one of them,
Yeah.
how would you say you can go about finding your passion or find something that you're passionate about?
That's a good question. I think a lot of people struggle with that, and I don't know. My opinion is just like try everything. Like Shakira says in Zootopia, try everything. Like, just as silly as it might sound, like get out of your comfort zone. I was at a party recently and nobody was dancing except me and like another person. And to me, it's just like, I don't know. I love dancing, but I think it's very telling for some people who like aren't willing to get out of their comfort zones and be vulnerable, and that's a very important thing. And when you're trying to find stuff that like butters your egg roll or like gets you going, that you get passionate about, you know? And so literally try everything. Like I love music, I love movies, I love talking to people. And so like all these different facets that
Dancing, too.
Dancing. Yeah, I love dancing. Like all of these different facets that are so common within the human experience, but we are so shy to try them because we think we might be judged. Like I think that's a big thing that our generation like struggles with, is like being judged by one another. I suffer from it all the time, and everyone else does. But you know, not caring about like what other people think and doing what to you're so interested in and you want to try it, but your friends or strangers like might look at you differently. Like in short, who cares?
Yeah.
Like you're going to have potentially one of the greatest experiences in your life, but you're not willing to try it because you care about what other people think. And to a certain degree, like that's a good thing. But
Dude, yeah. And passion's God-given, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's like how you become an instrument in God's hands.
Oh yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. So just try everything. Don't care about what other people think, and just go for it. Be happy. Have the experience of a lifetime. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Move on to the next thing. Yeah.
I love that. That's powerful. I guess to kind of wrap up, I feel like something I learned from Jared is just the individual, right? Bringing it back to the one. I think that's something powerful that we can do and that I personally can try to pursue once again in my life, you know, whether that's in my own personal life and, you know, at church or school. How can I make it about the one? And how can I tell their story instead of just how I think it should go? I think that's a great factor that he gave. Rock, what are some things that you feel like you learned?
I would say I learned the power of passion for sure. And yeah, I love how you're willing to be creative and open up. And it's cool to be weird.
Be vulnerable.
Yeah. Your films are pretty awesome. Some of them are a little weird, and that's what makes them so sick. I love
I
it.
forgot to mention I was in one of them.
That is true.
I should have said it earlier, but I was in
That
one
is
of them.
true,
and it was
Robbie.
awesome.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah.
My
Solo Dolo,
aspiration.
you can watch it.
Okay. What's your platforms, just so people can
It's
shout
check
out.
our stuff?
on YouTube. It's Jared Howard, just my name.
Okay.
It's a Photoshop picture of me on over top of The Weeknd and his
Okay.
like crazy hairstyle that he used to have. And then my Instagram is JaredBear_Howard. JareBare. Yeah.
Sick.
Definitely check out that YouTube.
Thanks, Jared.
Yeah. Thanks for letting me plug.
No, thank you guys. All right.
Perfect.
That's it.
Thanks,
Wrap
guys.
up.
You're awesome.
Awesome.